On today's episode of No, I'm just kidding. This is YouTube, not TikTok. We're going to do our full moon manifestation kit. Now remember, you don't have to do this on the 28th. That's just my favorite full moon. You can do this on any fucking full moon. Now you're going to have to bear with me because this is like my third YouTube video and editing this was wild, okay? If you happen to not get the kit for me, that's totally fine. Don't worry. You're going to find all of these stickers in the summary in the below the video, that thing. Yeah, you're going to find all of this there. You're going to have the ingredients and tools, troubleshooting just in case the spell doesn't work and you want to try again. What else do we have? Preliminary divination. I'm not going to go over that. Pre-ritual festivities and post-ritual festivities. As a side note, preliminary divination is totally optional. If you don't want to do it, don't fucking do it. It's basically just asking your spirit guides, like, what's up? What's going to happen with this spell? What do I need to do? Are there going to be any problems? You know, stuff like that. Now let's go over some of our herbs, okay? Starting off with vervain. It's used in prosperity spells and boosts spell efficiency. Myrrh is going to have a high psychic vibration that enhances any magical workings. Juniper is used in magical workings to increase money and prosperity. Sandalwood's used for wishing, healing, and energy flow. Tulsi is used for luck, business success, and money attraction. Willow is considered a sacred wishing tree, and it's also really good for protection. Rose petals are going to attract good luck, beauty, and love. Dandelion's used for wishing, divination, and good luck. And Whorehound stimulates creativity, inspiration, balances personal energies, and is used in blessings. This spell was made very specific, so I don't have substitutions for you. Next, we have our wooden box. It doesn't matter what kind of wooden box you have as long as it's wooden, okay? Then we have our salt blend. It's pink salt and sea salt. We have our bay leaves that are really good for wishing and purification as well as protection. As a side note, it doesn't matter if they're broken. We have our gratitude herbs that are going to come in our post-ritual festivities. And then we have our crystals, amethyst, clear quartz, moonstone, and fluorite, all used for lunar energy and manifestation. Our lunar energy tea was just an extra. You don't really have to drink tea. I fucking hate tea, but you know, whatever. Here we have our charcoal because, you know, we're going to need to burn some stuff. We have our dragon's blood essential fragrance oil. It's not an essential oil. That would be very expensive. We have our candles, and we have our little iron candle holder. The candles have to be white, but they don't, the shape of them does not matter. We have our incense cones. You can use whatever incense you like. The moon just matches the lunar theme. We have our empty spell jars for the gratitude portion. We have some tweezers and a spoon. Again, if you didn't get the kit, you can use whatever tweezers and spoon you got. We have our cauldron for burning things. If you don't have a cauldron, you don't need one. Just use a fire-safe bowl. And then we have a regular glass bowl. Now we're moving on to our pre-ritual. Our pre-ritual is going to set the base for everything, okay? And this is also where we're going to set our main intentions. Most of your energy should be going into this portion. Well, I mean, the next portion is pretty important too, but this one's going to take your energy because you're going to write your entire manifestation down. So first we're going to dress our candle. I'm using the dragon's blood oil. Why am I using a paintbrush, you ask? Because it's easier this way, and I don't like the feeling of oil on my hands. It really stresses me out. So paintbrush makes it super easy not to do that. The dragon's blood oil is going to give us our protection throughout our entire ritual. So you're going to need at least 3 candles. Unless, you know, you don't use them all the way, you can reuse the same candle. You don't need to do all that, okay? I'm just melting down the bottom a little bit so it'll stick in the candle holder even better. And look at that, we have our candle and our protection. That part is actually customizable. So if you don't have dragon's blood oil, you can use any protection oil. Next, we're moving on to our incense. I have the moon incense. You can use whatever incense. The incense is just going to connect us to our higher power, and it's going to give us a little bit more spiritual energy. You know what I mean? I highly suggest you don't use the little plate that goes with it to burn the incense on because it'll just burn through it and it'll stick to whatever surface you're doing it on. So get yourself a little cone burner or like a heat-proof, fireproof plate or something. I don't know. If you cannot use incense for whatever reason, mine is allergies, you can use sound for this part. You're going to make yourself a playlist. You're going to make it a little bit of spiritual. Whatever connects you to your higher power, whatever kind of music connects you to your higher power, that's what you're going to use for this part. I just like to add in before you start your ritual, just make sure that no one's going to interrupt you and your headspace is clear, okay? Now moving on to our manifestation. Any size manifestation is valid, okay? If yours is a page long, 3 pages, half a page, a little fucking piece of the page, you know? All of them are valid. It doesn't matter. What does matter are the words that go on it. So you're going to want to be as specific as you possibly can, and you're going to want to write in present tense as if it's already happened. The easiest way to do this part is to visualize your life. What is it going to look like in the future? After your manifestation is complete, what is your life going to look like? What are you going to change? All of that good stuff. That's going to keep you in your intention. So you're going to want to carry that throughout the entire ritual, the pre-ritual, the actual ritual, and the post-ritual. Here I'm just showing you a different way in case you have trouble with visualization. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a screenshot of your bank account. I'm just assuming that we're going to do it for money, okay? Because it's money. But I'm also going to show you the TikTok version just in case yours is followers. But you're going to want to follow this general situation that's happening. So I screenshotted my TikTok page and I screenshotted a random bank account. And then I just blanked out whatever I was going to fill in myself, which is going to be my manifestation portion. Then I'm just going in and filling everything out like I want my manifestation to go. I'm also being as specific as possible, as you can see with the $1.88 at the end. I don't know. That was random. But this is just an example. It's not my actual manifestation. You know what I mean? So I changed the bank account number, I changed the amount of the deposit, and then now I'm changing what I get the deposit from, which is Spotify, and when I would want it by. We're being specific, okay? You're just going to go ahead and do the same thing for the TikTok one. So let's say that you wanted to do one for love. You could go onto your Facebook page, screenshot your relationship status, and then change it to married if you want to. That would be a love manifestation. You know what I mean? That was a really bad one, but you get the point. Then on the back of them, if you wanted to add anything in, add in a little bit more if you wanted to be more specific, put that on the back. Now to finish the pre-ritual, after you're done with your manifestation, you're going to get your paper and you're going to fold it towards you twice to bring in the manifestation, then away from you twice to bring out the manifestation. You know, you got to bring it into yourself and then send it out into the universe. Just make sure you're folding it well because you're going to unfold it to put it in the box because you're going to need to cover it with salt. You're going to need to cover the entire thing with salt. So if you need more salt than I provided, add more salt. Regular table salt works, I promise. The salt is basically going to bless the intention. It's going to make it more possible for it to come to life. After it's covered, you're going to go ahead and close the box and you're going to keep it on your altar for 12 to 24 hours. It just depends on your mood. If you don't have an altar, that's totally fine. You're just going to place this in somewhere safe, wherever it feels safe to you. Probably in your bedroom, maybe on your desk. I don't know. It just depends on you. And that's it for this part. We're moving on to part 2. Grab everything you need right now. You don't want to be searching for things in the middle of this ritual, okay? First, we're going to be cleansing our hands with the Florida water. Now, the Florida water is going to take away all of the outside energy that you could be bringing into a spell. That's really just going to throw off the energy and throw off your intentions. You only need a little bit of Florida water. Don't be using the entire bottle or whatever. Just relax, okay? The next part is going to be the same thing that you did in the first part. You're going to take your candle, you're going to dress it with the dragon's blood oil, then you're going to light everything. Remember, you can use sound if you don't want to use incense. And if you wanted to add on your own protections, now is the time to do it. Now you're going to disassemble your salt and paper situation you have going on. You're going to take the salt and you're going to pour it out onto your table, flatten it out a little bit, and then you're going to draw a pentagram right in the middle. Does it have to be perfect? Absolutely not. If it's perfect, then you're probably a robot and I am not trusting you at this moment, okay? Sorry, I had to speed through that because that was just a lot. Anyway, you're going to put your bowl right in the middle of the pentacle. Now you're going to pour a little of each herb into the bowl. You just have to feel it out when it comes to measurements. I don't know. I have like a little Hispanic grandma on my shoulder that tells me when to add more, when to add less. So you figure that one out for yourself, however works for you. This is also a really, really good time to set intentions as you're adding herbs to your bowl. You can use the correspondences that I put in the description box and just tell each herb what their job is. You can also adjust the correspondences to fit your manifestation specifically since each herb has like over 10 correspondences. You're going to mix it up a little bit, do it clockwise to bring that energy in and then counterclockwise to let it out. Now moving on to our bay leaves. You're going to grab 2. It doesn't matter what 2. It doesn't matter if it's broken or a little bit brown, okay? Just grab 2. On one of them, you're going to draw a manifestation sigil. On the second one, you're going to draw a lunar energy sigil. If you don't know how to draw a sigil, that's totally fine. It's normal, okay? What you're going to do is go to my TikTok page. One of the pinned videos is going to be a sigil tutorial. Just follow that, make your sigils that way, okay? Also, drawing them on with a marker is going to be easier than a pen because the pen's just going to break the leaf and then you're going to be upset. Now you're going to grab your manifestation that you had earlier in the salt and you're going to rip it. You're going to rip it towards you to bring that energy towards you. You're going to bring that energy in. Grab your box and open it. Take half of the note and put it in the box. Then you're going to take half of the herbs and put those on top of the half of the note. Does that make sense? Yeah. If your note is big and you have to rip it more than twice to make it fit in the box, that's totally okay. before you put your note in the box, you're going to rip it once more away from you to send that manifestation out into the universe. Also, if you're spilling things throughout this entire process, that's totally okay. It's normal. The spirits aren't going to be like, oh my God, you spilled it, your manifestation. Nope, no more. No, they're not going to say that. Anyway, put your box right above the pentacle and then grab your cauldron and put it right in the middle. Now you're going to grab your crystals and you're going to put them in the 4 corners. Doesn't matter the order, doesn't matter the corners. Just put them around it. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? If you didn't get the kit, any crystals for manifestation are fine. But these on top of manifestation have lunar energy and protection properties as well. Now you're going to need your charcoal. You know the charcoal that they use for hookah? That's what you're going to use. Or use the charcoal that I provided if you got the kit. If you didn't, that's totally fine. Go to like a hookah shop. You'll find it there, I promise. You're going to need your tweezers for this part, mostly because fire hurts when it burns you, and you don't want to be burned. So you're going to hold the charcoal with the tweezers, and then you're going to hold it over the flame. Once you hear it start crackling, that means it's hot enough and you can stick it in the cauldron. For everything that you burn, you're going to recite this prayer. My intentions are strong, such as energy in the air. The moon is my guide, her energy is shared. My will and my intent are my own, from the universe to my bones. I send out this manifestation, my energy flows. Now you don't have to say this out loud. You can say it in your head. It doesn't matter. Relax. I personally talk to myself out loud and have arguments with myself out loud literally all of the time. But if that's not you, that's totally okay. Next, you're going to sprinkle some of your herb mixture on the charcoal and it should begin to smoke. Then you're going to recite your prayer. Then you're going to sprinkle some more and then recite your prayer. And then sprinkle. You get the point. Just keep going until you have no more herb left. Then you're going to grab the second half of the note and rip it away from you. That's going to send the manifestation out into the universe. And you can rip it up as many times as you need for the next step because it has to fit in that tiny little thing. And again, you're going to recite the prayer every single time you add something in there. For the bay leaves, you're going to burn the lunar energy sigil one first, wait until it's gone, and then burn the manifestation sigil. Remember to keep reciting your prayer. Then you're going to sit there and meditate because you're going to have to wait for the charcoal to completely go out before you go to the next step, or else it's going to burn you and that's not going to feel nice. To make mine cool down a little bit faster, I'm just taking out the charcoal and sticking in some water. And you can always be pulling out your tarot cards, reading them, talking to your guides while you're waiting for everything to cool down. But for the sake of the tutorial, I'm using an oven mitt. Move your cauldron to the side, bring the box back to the middle, and recite the prayer. Now open your box, take the ashes from the cauldron, and stick them all in there. Once you're done, guess what you're going to do? You guessed right. You're going to recite the prayer. Okay. Recite the prayer again. Then you're going to close the box and keep it on your altar, the general vicinity of your altar, or wherever you put the box before. That's where you're going to keep it. You're not going to touch it. You're not going to look at it. You're not going to think about it. You're just going to do you and follow your manifestation. Okay. Now we're moving on to our first part of the post ritual. You're going to do this on the next full moon, and you're going to start it like we did everything else. You're going to cleanse your hands with Florida water. You're going to dress your candle. You're going to light your incense. And just like the other part again, we're going to make a little pentagram out of salt. Honestly, I get pentagram and pentacle mixed up all the time. Anyway, I'm doing it with table salt this time so you can see how it looks because I haven't done it with table salt by itself. So here you go. This is what it looks like. Now you're going to grab your gratitude herb blend. What is this herb blend? Let me tell you. It has agrimony, frankincense, myrrh, and vervain. I also added a tiny bit of patchouli to the recipe last minute because I felt like it needed it. So there's patchouli in there too. Put your little empty jar right in the middle of the pentacle, and you're going to grab your gratitude herbs and you're going to hold them in your hand. Yes, you're going to hold them in your hand like you're offering them to the gods because you are. So you're going to sit there and hold it about like a minute, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It just depends on your mood. And while that's happening, you're going to go ahead and recite the following chant. It goes, to those of whom I owe my thanks, I offer my sincerest gratitude. O blessed and divine beings, I give you this sincerity as I flourish in what I've been given and what is to come. So mote it be. Repeat it for as many times as you want, for as long as you want, and then you're going to take the herbs and put them in the jar. Doesn't matter if you spill some, absolutely not. Look at that. I'm putting it everywhere, okay? Now you're also going to need a tag lock. What is a tag lock? Something that belongs to you. I'm going to use my hair for my hairbrush. You can use bodily fluids, but I will not be doing that because that is gross and not, ew. Sorry to whoever likes doing it. Not me. No, ma'am. I'm also slightly embarrassed at how long it took me to get my hair inside of the jar. But anyway, you're going to seal your jar now. Put the cork back on. Grab your little white candle that you already have right there, and you're going to seal it with that wax, okay? Make sure you cover the cork completely. Completely. There should be no cork sticking out when you are done, okay? If you get candle wax on any surface, just go ahead and wait for it to dry, and then you can just scrape it off. It comes off super easy. Don't do it while it's still wet, okay? Cool. Now you have your little spell jar and you're going to put that right on top of the box wherever you put the box before. Yeah, the spell jar is going to go right on top, right in the middle, okay? Don't move it, don't touch it, don't look at it. Moving on to part 4, the end. This is going to happen after your manifestation has already come to fruition. Like the manifestation has been fucking fulfilled, okay? Grab your bowl, light your charcoal, we're going to burn things again, okay? This part is super simple. You're literally going to burn everything that's in the box. Every single thing in that box needs to be ash. As you're going through and burning everything, remember to keep giving gratitude to the universe, to the deities, to the spirit guides, to whoever the fuck helped you, you know? Once everything's burnt to ash, you can do one of 2 things. You can get rid of it or you can make black salt. For black salt, you're just going to grind it up, stick it in some salt, and shake it around, and you have black salt. To get rid of it, you're either going to want to throw it away outside of your house or pour it in some running water. Now for the gratitude jar, you're going to keep it for 1 year exactly. So if you did this on the October full moon, you're going to keep it again until the next October full moon, and so on and so forth. This is especially important if you're going to do the ritual again next year, okay? And that's it, babe. You are done. And we'll see you next time for our money bowl ritual. Have a wonderful day.